And welcome back to the channel, and today we're going over my seed starting station. So this is something I use in early spring when it's a bit too cold to be planting out. And all it is you can see here is an old grow, well, not an old grow tent actually, I brought this brand new. It's a grow tent on its side, one of the things they use in hydroponics to grow their crops for one. But as you can see here, I'm just emptying it out, taking out some old bins. It's used for storage. As you can see in there, they do get quite filthy actually after a while, so break out the little mini hoover and remember to turn the light on the camera so you can actually see what I'm doing. Hopefully, there we go. Yeah, so yeah, just give it a good old hoover out. It's don't know how interesting this is to you, to watch a bloke hoovering up old dry compost out of a grow tent that's laid on its side. There we go. Oh. It's an annoying noise, I know that. But once that's all done, so this is me getting ready to start sowing, planting, potting on, going with some chilies here. Some Trinidad scorpion there and pepperoni naga. I'm reading off my own video. So yeah, just labelling everything, writing out some labels. It's important to keep track of what you're sowing, what cells you're putting in. After a while you do get some experience. You can tell by the shapes of the leaves what's growing up. Oh, and there we go. My cack-handed script, you can't actually see what I'm writing there. So here we are, I'm about to start potting on some of the seedlings that have come through. I'm just filling up a pot there with some compost. I'll just put it in loosely at first by hand and give me a little stick and just tamp it down just to firm it up a little bit. You don't want it rock hard like a brick. So here we are, some of the seedlings that are in the trays, and start what we call pricking out. Where you just very gently just lever out the seedlings. These are the chilies that you saw me labelling up earlier. They came through. Sorry, this video is a little bit out of sequence. I shall actually do a more in-depth and detailed one later, because some things have changed. And at the end of this, you'll see some mistakes I made. And as you can see here, I'm trying to protect the root ball as much as I can. And just grasp the seedling at a midpoint on the stem, just below the grow point where the leaves have come out. And that's all the chili pricked out. And so I've got my pot there, and I'll start basically dibbing a hole. I'm just using the bottom of my Sharpie pen there for that one. I'm just making a hole in the compost just so I can drop the root ball in. And here we go, just shake off a little bit of the compost and just tease the roots out a little bit and then just very slowly dib it into the hole. And that's the first one done. Now I'll just swap over to the actual, I've forgotten to brought this in actually. And so I just remembered I've actually got my proper dibber. And just, just repeat that process. Again, you see me just gently shaking it off there, off the compost. And just, young leaves on the plants, they have these very fine hairs, so they do get caught up with each other quite often. You just got to basically tease them out and then just firm them down. Once all this is done, once this pot is planted up and the next pot's planted up, they go on my windowsill, which I'm lucky in my flat is south facing, so it gets a lot of the sun, quite a bit of heat quite early on in the season. It's just unfortunately not deep enough to start everything off there. The one thing I did learn doing this though is that the tomato seedlings don't actually like the environment. It's too humid for them. I could solve that by putting a fan in, But it just seems a lot of faff at the moment. When tomatoes I can actually just start on the windowsill. I tend to leave them on the radiator for the first week or two until they've actually started coming through. Once they're through, and the first leaves are showing, then they get put onto the windowsill. Yeah. I usually start, because chilies and tomatoes require such a long growing season in our climate here in the UK. I tend to start them off back in the January, February, no later than the end of February. But here we go with the new chilies. Just in case I lose any, as you can, I'll just re-sow them into the cells that I've just emptied. Now there, you can see you don't actually get many chili seeds in a packet. You usually average out about 10. And this is just a little experiment. Seems to have worked. As you saw from the chili harvest video, I'm going to start saving my own seeds. I don't know why I just repeated myself then, but I did. Yeah, I'm starting to save my own seed. It's very fine. No, not as bad as some things like turnips, etc. Anything with a large above ground swollen root, they produce some really, really fine seed. You know, if you've ever grown radishes with your kids, or done it through school, you'll know what I mean. So now on to the next one. Yeah, this is pretty much similar. Yeah, just shake the seed out onto my hand. Yeah, just breaking them up there a little bit. You can't quite see. My hand was out of shot, but they come with a fine powder on them that helps them germinate when you buy them commercially. With these, I had so many seed in the packet, a little bit more than average. I decided to just go with two in each cell. Quite a few left over. Just got rid. And then just gently press them down into the compost and get them put away. And now just a quick review of some of the mistakes I made. And today we are going to have an after action report on my seed starting. I've already taken some out and got them out on the windowsill. So we'll just open up. Ooh. The lights are on. So as you can see, did quite well. I've had quite a few of the tomatoes out. My moneymaker unfortunately damped off. But yeah, I had the chilies come out. They're on the windowsill now, just hardening off. And the Butt Jalai, they've been a little bit slower, but they're starting to get there. So I'm going to leave them in for another couple of days. Some can come out, but other than that, yeah, the system seemed to have worked well. One thing I didn't account for is just the sheer weight of water. It's quite hard to drag this out and look at it when it's full of water. And the main reason for that being, as you can see on one of these, sorry about the lighting, I forgot to turn my phone light on. As you can see on this, they're designed to be stackable. Try and get a good shot. So what I'm thinking is I might actually cut these off. Sorry about the handheld camera, guys. There we go, light's on now. Yeah, so I'm thinking about cutting these off there, just with a hacksaw at that level, and that'll reduce the amount of water that I need in each tray. These were free. I don't mind damaging these or making them unusable. And try that as a backup from my local big box store. I've got a tray and I've got some inserts. yeah, so we're going to try that for the next batch. So yeah, water weighs. Why I didn't think of that, I don't know, but we learn by doing, and I don't mind failing as long as I try, and that's the important thing here. So yeah, so I'm going to give it another go. I've got some more seeds to deal with. We've also got a box. Oops, helps if I actually focus on the actual seeds. Yeah, and I bought some cherry tomatoes, and I've rebought my money maker, which is the ones that damped off. Start those again. Yeah, so just a quick video there, guys. That's my setup. Later on in the year, when everything's opened up and the lockdowns are ended, I'm going to get another light, so I can have two trays running at the same time, and we'll see how we get on. Right, see you soon.
Though much is taken, much abides, and though we are not now that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven, that which we are. One equal temper of heroic hearts, made weak by time and fate, but strong in will to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield.